Okay, dear children, very good evening to all of you. Right. So I know that there are newcomers also with us today, right? So we are going to start our third term units, right? So children, our first unit for the third term is heat and temperature, right? Okay. So children, I am not talking much of the time. I am going to start our lesson, right? So children, today also we have lot of experiments to be discussed, right? And this lesson is very interesting one. Make godak asa hitana lesson ekak, right? So then children, we can discuss this lesson very informative manner, right? Okay, so for the newcomers, I would say, right, I'll give you kind of small instructions. If you don't have the tute, right, since this is one of the pre-seminar, if you don't have the tute, right, no worries. Use separate set of paper or another book to write down today's note. Very carefully listen and observe when we are doing experiments. Okay children, right. What is the other thing is that if you are joining with our class, right, accept this tute. Rather than this tute, you have to write this note in another writing book once finish the class, right, each and every week. I hope that our old ones, they know, right, what we are going to do at the end, right? So children, at the end of the year, we are going to give you, right, very valuable gifts for those selected most beautiful 3 books, right? So then children, be careful about that, right? Today onwards also you can start that one, right? During examination period, I didn't remind it because you are stressed with your term test. Now all the things finish and then your vacations also on the way, right? And then you have enough time, right? So during the classroom you have to use this tute, but once finish the class, that means within the week, once we finish the class, you can write down, or you can write down this notebook and the experiment book in your writing book, right? So then children, nicely prepare your writing books also. And children, I know that here our old students, they are updated with lot of words now, right? Egolange scientific vachana godak hondata hadila tiyenne, but no worries, right? Newcomers also, I would like to, actually children, each and every lesson there are some difficult words, there are technical jargons, right? So then children, sometimes I am writing the explanation, right, of that relevant word. So then children, in the tute you can write down the relevant word and the meaning also, Sinhala or English meaning, right? So children, if you find any difficult word, you have to shift that word into a small notebook, right? Like this. Amaru වචනයක් කොහේ හරි හම්බුනොත් එහෙම පුංචි notebook එකකට මේක shift කරන්න, right? Still I am doing that, right? So if I found very difficult word in a newspaper also, I just find out what is the meaning, Sinhala meaning and English meaning, right? So children, although you can manage English, sometimes you cannot manage science well. So children, what is the reason? Because there are a lot of technical jargons in that relevant subject area, right? So due to that children, if you find any difficult word, using red pen in the tute itself, you have to write down. Okay. So then children, that's what you have to do. Thereafter writing in this book, right, day in day out, just read it and keep your book. Read it and keep your book all together. අද වචන දෙකක් අහුණා, ඊළඟ සතියේ වචන දෙකක් අහුණා, වචන 4ක්. ඔක්කොම ටික මුලින් ඉඳන් ඇහැ හුරු කරගන්න, right? So children, that is kind of a training. Okay, so children, if you have difficulties with words, technical jargons, likewise these words, right, this is one of the best way to keep these words in your mind. Okay, හැමදාම පාඩම් කරන්න නෙමෙයි මේ කියන්නේ. ටටක් ගාලා කියුවා තිබ්බා, right? Then you can train your eye and then you can train your mind for these words, right? ඕනම සබ්ජෙක්ට් එකකට දෙමළ වලට එහෙම හොඳට කරන්න පුළුවන් වැඩක් මේක. මේ සමහරුන්ට ටැමිල් වලට මාක්ස් අඩුයිනේ, right? Okay, හරි. Okay, so children, I'm not taking much of the time. Right. Okay. So children, we are going to start our unit number 14, right? Heat and temperature, right? Okay. So children, I can remember under the lesson forms of energy, we discussed about heat. We discussed heat as a form of energy, right? But we didn't discuss about temperature. We have discussed it several places, but we haven't defined it. අපි ඒක අර්ථකථනය කළා නැහැ, right? Sometimes some students are thinking that heat means same like temperature. No. Heat is one thing, temperature is another thing, right? Heat is different from temperature. Okay, children? Right. Okay, so then children, here we go. Right. අපි එහෙනම් අපේ වැඩේට යමු. Okay, children. Okay. So, children, I told you that heat is a form of energy, right? Heat means තාපය. තාපය ශක්ති ආකාරයක්. Heat is a form of energy, right? So, children, what do you call as temperature, right? Now, imagine that, children, right? At the dawn of the day, you are ready for go to school, and then you are going into the kitchen to check whether your mom prepared your cup of tea or not, right? නේද උදේ පාන්දර ඇහැරිලා මැලි කඩලා යනවා අම්මා කුස්සියේ Tamanගේ bed tea එක හදලාද බලන්න, right? So then, children, you are staying like this and then staying near to your kettle and then accidentally touch it, and then what will happen, right? You are jumping behind, right? What is the reason for that, children? Right? So, you feel hot, right? You feel hot, right, children? So, imagine that you are going to Nuwara these days. Imagine that you are going to Nuwara these days or up country area. Then what you feel? You feel cool, right? You feel cool, right? So, then, children, now, is it heat? No, children, right? That is, children, based on temperature, right? Okay. So, children, what is called as temperature, right? We'll check, right? So, measuring temperature, අපි බලමු අපේ මුල්ම point එක අපි බලමු. Measuring temperature, if you don't know this word measuring means manometer.
Excuse me, teacher.
Yes.
Temperature means something comes like environment with environment.
Okay, right. Okay, wait. Hari mang explain කරන්නම්කෝ. Okay, give me a second. Right. Okay. So, heat is form of energy, I told you. Now, we'll check whether what is temperature. Hari අපි බලමු. The environment become warm during the daytime. During the daytime means diva kalaya, right? Daytime, due to solar heat, and get cooled down in night, right? Warmness and coldness are two sensations that we feel. I told you, children, right? During daytime, we feel hot. Right? Likewise. But, children, during night time, you feel cool, right? So, children, what is this temperature? Children, temperature means, children, kind of a measurement related to warmness and coldness, right? Kind of a measurement related to warmness and coldness of a substance, right? කිසියම්මු ද්‍රව්‍යයක නේද උණුසුම් බව සහ සිසිල් බව පිළිබඳව මිනුමක්. The measurement about warmness and coldness of a substance is called as temperature. Heat is a form of energy, right? So, I'll let you know what is the interaction between heat and temperature. Only for this instance, keep it in your mind, heat is a form of energy, right? Temperature is kind of a measurement, right, about warmness and coldness of a substance, right? Warmness means unusuma. Coldness means sisilasa. Right? Warmness, hot. Sizzle as a coldness means cool, cool, right? Okay, children. So now we are going to define what you call as temperature. So children, if you have the tute, turn to the page number 2, right? Temperature is a measurement about warmness and coldness of a substance කිසියම් වූ ද්‍රව්‍යක උෂ්ණත්වය හා සිසිල් බව පිළිබඳ මිම්මක්. Measurement means මිම්මක්, right? මිනුමක්, right? We are measuring it, right? The amount of heat absorbed measured in temperature, right? Will let you know, right? Quickly write down this definition.
Finish, teacher.
Okay.
Finished writing, miss.
Right, okay. Are there any still writing ones?
Yes.
Okay. Take your time.
Finish, madam.
Okay.
Finish, madam.
Okay. Right, okay. All right. Right. Children, the next question. Balanna. Why do we feel warm when we touch a heated object? And cold when we touch a piece of ice? Right? Children, what you feel, right? Or what you actually, why we feel warm when we touch a heated object? Imagine that, right? You keep your hand on heated kettle. උදේ පාන්දර ගිහිල්ලානේ කුස්සිය අතපත ගාලා ගිහිල්ලා ටක් ගාලා රත් වෙච්ච කේතේට අත තියන. Then children, what will happen? Yes, you feel ne නිදිමත කොහෙන් ගියාද නෑනේ, right? So children, what will happen always when it comes to a kettle? මොන ළමයි මං kettle එකක් අඳිනවා, right? Okay. අනේ මන්ද මේ වගේ නේදයි, right? kettle එක ගැන වැඩි හිතන්න එපා, right? Okay. So children, imagine that this is a kettle, right? This is heated and then you touched it. Why children you feel warm? Children, keep it in your mind. Heat transfers or travels from higher to lower. Rather than the kettle, our hand, right, is cooler, right? Rather than this kettle, heat of our body is lower. So then children, heat flows from higher to lower. වැඩි තැන ඉඳන් අඩු තැනටයි heat එක ගලන් යන්නේ. තාපය ගලන් යන්නේ. Right? So children, because of this traveling or because of this transfer heat from higher to lower, right? We feel warm when we touch heated object, right? And children, what will happen when we keep ice cube on your palm, right? You feel cool. What is the reason? Rather than the ice cube, our hand heat is higher. So then from higher to lower, heat travels, heat transfers, right? So that's why children, we feel cool. අපේ අතෙන් heat එක යනවා ice cube එකට because our hand heat has actually our hand has high heat rather than the ice cube. Okay children, right, here we can write down heat travels or transfers from higher to lower, right? That's why we feel warm when we touch a heated object and we feel cold when we touch piece of ice, okay, or cooler object. Quickly write down this one also.
Finish, teacher.
Okay.
Finish, teacher.
Okay.
Finish, teacher.
Okay.
Finish, teacher.
All right.
Madam, wait a minute.
Okay, right. Right? So children, higher to lower means වැඩි තැන ඉඳන් අඩු තැනට කියන idea එක නේ උඩ ඉඳන් පහළට කියන idea එක ගන්න එපා. Okay? Higher to lower. Heat travels from always higher to lower. High place to low place. Right? Okay.
Finish, madam.
Finish? Done?
Yes.
Right. So children, if you have finished, we can discuss our experiment number 1, right? Experiment number 1, that is kind of a self-study for all of you, right? So it based on what you feel. Right? නේද අපට දැනෙන දේ නෙමෙයි ඔබට දැනෙන දේ, right? Okay. So children, if you have the tute, move with our experiment section. ටක් ගාලා යන් අපේ පරීක්ෂණ පැත්තට. This is kind of a self-study for all of you, right? Okay. Right. This one. Page number 15. පහළොස්වෙනි පිටුව. Page number 15. Okay. Right. Experiment number 1. Comparing warm water and cold water. Okay. Right. Children, these are the materials that needed. Lukewarm water. නේද සමහර මේක lukewarm water කියනවානේ. Lukewarm water. Right? Lukewarm water and cold water. Right? Lukewarm water means මද උණුසුම් ජලය. මද උණුසුම්. Right? නේද? නටපුණු වතුර ගන්නෙ. Okay? මද උණුසුම්. Lukewarm. Right? Slightly warm. Slight කියන්නේ ටිකක්. Slightly warm. Right? Okay. Children, we need lukewarm water and cold water. Right? And children, 2 equal size beakers. two equal size beakers and you have to fill equal volumes of lukewarm water and cold water. Right? We'll see what we have to do. Get equal amounts of lukewarm water and cold water into two beakers of the same size. All these other factors should be constant. Same size, same volume of water, but here we have used lukewarm water, here we have used cold water. Same volumes, right? Dip your fingers into water each beaker, right? You have to dip your fingers. ඇඟිලි මෙහෙම කපලා දානව නෙමෙයි. Dip your fingers in lukewarm water and then cold water, right? And children record what you feel, right? Children, what will happen when we put your hand into this lukewarm water? Rather than your hand outside, right? Lukewarm water has high heat rather than your fingers. High heat rather than your fingers. So then what will happen? From higher to lower, this heat transfers. You feel this water is hot rather than your hand, right? Because of heat travels from higher to lower. Now here what will happen? Right? The heat here, the heat of this hand is higher. Heat of this hand is higher rather than cold water. So then what happened? From higher to lower, heat transfers, right? So then children, from our hand to cold water, heat travels. Ned, compared to this cold water, our hand heat is higher. So then from higher to lower, this heat travels. Because of that, children, we feel cool. Okay, children? Right. So, children, since this is based on your experience, right, we are not doing that one in the classroom, but from next experiment onwards, we are going to do it in the classroom. Okay? Right. So, then we can write down the observation. Right? This is page number 15. 15 වෙනි පිටුවේ. Right? When the fingers
The hand or finger dipped
when
in
yes
water.
yes when the fingers dip in lukewarm water we feel hot, right? When the fingers dip in cold water, we feel cold, right? So what is the reason? You know, observation means what you feel and what you can sensation, right? So then here conclusion means, right, heat always travels from higher to lower, right? Okay, heat always travels from higher to lower place, right? Quickly write down these two things.
Finish, teacher.
Okay.
Finish, teacher.
Okay.
Done, teacher.
Finish, teacher.
Okay.
Finish, teacher.
Okay, right. I hope that you have finished writing. Okay? Right. Okay. අපි එහෙනම් වැඩි වෙලාවක් ගන්න නැතුව ඊළඟ එක්ස්පෙරිමන්ට් එකටත් යමු. Experiment number 2, page number 16R. This is the practical that we can do now, right? Okay, so children, we'll see how we can do this experiment. Observing expansion of liquid, right? Bottle thermometer, right? Okay, so children, expansion of liquid. Expansion means children volume increases. Volume increases, right? නේද? පරිමාව වැඩි වෙනවා. Volume increases. That means children, expansion means ප්‍රසාරණය, right? Prasaranaya. That means volume increases. Okay? I'll let you know how it happened. Now, volume increases or increases the size, expansion, right? Prasaranaya in Sinhala. Okay? Volume, size increase also called as expansion. Volume expansion means volume increases. Okay? Right. Hari api eka පැත්තකින් තියමුකෝ. Right. We'll see. These are the materials that we need. 2 small glass bottles with rubber stoppers. What are called as rubber stoppers? Children, have you seen stoppers? Cork stoppers also? Wait, I'll show you. Children, this is my cork stopper, right? Cork stopper, right? Kiralabaya, stopper. Okay, children? This stopper, rubber stoppers, they have asked us to get here. Rubber වලින් හදපු stopper එක. Stopper means abaya, right? Abaya. Okay, children? Right. Rubber stopper, rubber abba. Abba, stopper. That means we can use it as a lid for some chemical flasks, conical flasks, right, round bottom flask, likewise. 2 empty tubes of ballpoint pens, right? 2 empty tubes of ballpoint pens. I'll show you what are these ballpoint pens, right? Tubes of pen, right? And children, you need 2 beakers, water and red ink, right? Children, we'll discuss how we can do this one. Fill the small glass bottles with colored water, right? We can use kukul sayam or stains to color water, right? And fix empty tubes of ballpoint pens, right? You have to fill empty tubes of ballpoint pens with these 2 stoppers, right? And then children, keep one of those bottles in beaker filled with warm water. එකක් උණුසුම් වතුරේ තියෙනවා. And then keep other beaker, right? Keep other beaker filled with cold water. One thing warm water and other one cold water. Okay? And observe what happened. Take care when you are using hot water. Now children, we are going to do this experiment in the class, right? Give me a second. All right, dear children. Okay. Here children, these are beakers which have equal volumes, right? I have chosen 500 milliliters of beakers here, right? The 500 milliliters of beakers mama aragena tiyena, right? 2 beakers, right? So children, we have to fill equal volumes into these 2 beakers. Okay children? Right. We'll see. Right. Okay. All right children. Now first of all, I'll fill 200 milliliters of hot water into one beaker. 200 milliliters of hot water into this beaker, right? Okay. And thereafter children, I'll fill cold water into this beaker. Cold water into this beaker. That is also 200 milliliters of water. Right? Now you can see both of these beakers filled with equal volumes of water. This is hot water. This is cold water. Okay children? Right. Okay. Right. Okay children. Now children, this is my setups. Right? Okay, these are my setups. Right? So I have used boiling tubes instead of glass bottles. I have used boiling tubes instead of glass bottles. If you carefully observe, you can see I have fixed pen tubes. Instead of rubber stoppers, I have used clay lumps here. Clay lumps. Okay. Both of these tubes, boiling tubes, are equal volume, having boiling tubes. Okay. And I have fixed empty pen tubes, and you can see up to some extent ink filled, right? Okay. So now first of all, I'll just keep this boiling tube in this cold water and then this boiling tube in this hot water beaker, right? Now at the same time, I'll just keep it. Now we'll see what will happen. Very carefully observe what will happen to the level of ink, right? Can you see it? This side is hot water. And this side is cold water. This side hot, this side cold. Very carefully have a look what is happening. If you carefully observe children, you can see in the pen tube which has fixed into the boiling tube that I have kept inside this hot water, right? The ink level rises. Ink level rises. Slowly, slowly, ink level rises, right? The the boiling tube that I have kept inside this hot water beaker, you can see ink level rises, right? But children, what is happening? The ink level in this tube, right, in this tube that I have fixed into, or that I have kept in this cold water beaker, what is happening? Now this one is totally filled, okay, but you can see that level goes down. Here in this pen tube, colored water fall down, okay. So children, what is the reason for this observation? What is the reason? Children, rather than the water in this boiling tube, outside here this hot water, heat is higher. The heat is higher in hot water rather than the boiling tube, okay. So then what will happen? Heat absorbed by this colored water. Then what will happen? The volume increases in this liquid, right? So that's why children, this ink level rises. Ink level rises up, right? And then children, what is happening here? Rather than the outside environment, or rather than this cold water beaker, this water heat is higher than outside cold water. So then what will happen? Here from this boiling tube to outside cold water, heat travels. So then what will happen, children? Because of that traveling of heat outside, volume contract inside. Contract means sankochane venawa, right? Volume contract, adu venawa. Here this volume expands and then level rises up. Here volume contract and level fall down, right? So children, that's what happening, right? What we can conclude at the end, because of the absorbance of heat, volume increases in this tube, right? From outside to inside, heat travel. Here what is happening? From this boiling tube to outside environment, heat travels. Because of that, volume contract and then this volume or this level fall down. Okay children, I hope that you clearly understand this experiment. Okay, right. Okay, I'll just keep it aside. මේකත් මේකෙම තියමු අපි. එතකොට අපිට level එක පහළට ගන්න පුළුවන්. Right. Okay. All right. So children, now you understand that what happened, right? Okay. So children, we'll write down the observation, right? The colored water level, the colored water level of the pen tube fixed to the bottle immersed in warm water rises up, right? I'll use another color and write the other statement, right? Colored water level of the pen tube fixed to the bottle immersed. Immersed means gillala, right? Immersed in cold water. අපි මෙතන නම් පාවිච්චි කළේ boiling tubes, right? But here they have asked us to immersed bottle, right? Cold water falls down, right? Immerse means gillala, right? Gilwa tabu, right? Okay. Right. Here we can write down when the setup kept in warm water the volume of colored water increases, that means expands. Increases, that means expand. නේද? heat එක අරගන්න නිසා පරිමාව ප්‍රසාරණය වෙනවා. පරිමාව වැඩි වෙනවා. Because of heat travels from higher to lower. Because of this traveling, because of the absorption, volume increases, right? That means volume expands. You can use another color or a special color to volume expands, right?
Excuse me, teacher.
And then next one, when
Excuse me, teacher.
the page number is 15, when the setup kept in cold water the volume of colored water decreases. That means heat release out, right? So then children, what is this? Volume contract, sankochane. Prasarane, sankochane. Prasarane means increases the volume and size. Contraction means small, right? Sankochane vena, punchi vena, right? Volume reduce, okay? Volume contracts. Volume contracts. Contracts means sankochane, hakilena, shrink. Expand means it expand, right? Prasarane, right? Okay. Due to heat travels from higher to lower. එකත් ලියාගත්තාම හොඳයි, right? Okay, quickly write down that one.
Finish, madam.
Okay, I know that some are still writing. You can write down that one also.
Finished.
Teacher,
Yes.
can you explain that experiment again?
that experiment again?
I
Okay.
mean, the experiment that the
Okay.
things you.
Right. So here what has happened? When you keep your setup in warm water, you know children, heat travels from high place to lower place. Heat travels from higher to lower. වැඩි තැනේ ඉඳන් අඩු තැනට. Right? So when you keep this setup, right? When you keep this setup, right? Right, in hot water, right, this is hot water. Now bit of reduce the temperature. When you keep this setup in hot water, what will happen? Rather than this tube, temperature in outside is higher. So then what will happen? From higher to lower, heat travels, right? නේද මේකේ තාපය වැඩි නිසා වැඩි තැන ඉඳන් මේක වැඩි රත් වෙලා නැහැ මුලින්. Due to that, children, from higher to lower, heat travels. Then what will happen? Because of the absorbance of heat by this liquid, then what will happen? Volume expands, volume increases. පරිමාව වැඩි වෙනවා මේකෙන් රත් වුණාම. Right? The volume of water increases. So then what will happen? Because of the increment of the or expanding of the volume of this water inside, you can see that the level of water rises. නේද? ඇතුලේ ඉන්න බැරි වුණාම ඉඩ හදාගන්න උඩට යනව නේද? Yes, because of heat travels from higher to lower place, and then what will happen? We can see water level rises. Right? We are using pen tubes here because this is transparent. Then what will happen if you keep this one in cold water? If you keep this one in cold water, what will happen? Right? Then cold එක ගිහිල්ලා, right? Then what will happen, children? Rather than this water, in this cold water beaker, temperature is lower. Not temperature, heat is lower. Here heat is higher in this boiling tube rather than beaker. So then from this tube to water, heat travels out. Right? Then what will happen? Because of the removal of heat from this from this boiling tube to outside environment, what will happen? The volume decreases. That means volume contracts. Making එළියට heat එක යන්නේ. Right? Because of that, what will happen, children? Volume decreases. Right? So then that is called as contraction. Okay, කියන්නේ පරිමාව අඩු වෙනවා cool වතුරේ තිබ්බහම. හේතුව from this boiling tube to outside cool water, heat transfers. Because of the reduction of heat, what will happen? This volume decreases and then it contracts. Then water level slowly moving down. Did you understand it?
Yes, teacher, thank you.
Okay, right. Did you write down this conclusion?
Yes, teacher.
Okay. All of you? Are there any still writing ones? Then maybe
Still
theatre. Children.
Yes, teacher.
Yes. Because of the absorbance of heat, volume increases or increase the volume because of the absorption of heat is called as liquid expansion. තාපය උරාගෙන ද්‍රවයක පරිමාව වැඩි වෙන එක. Because of the absorbance of heat, right? Increase or the volume increases of a liquid, that is called as expansion of liquid. Okay? Right. නේද මේක වෙන්නේ heat එක absorb කරගන්න නිසා. Right? Okay, so you can put a star and write at the bottom. Right? Increase of the volume of the liquid due to the absorption of heat is called as expansion. Expansion of liquids. නේද? ද්‍රව ප්‍රසාරණය කියලා කියනවා. උතාපය උරාගෙන පරිමාව වැඩි වෙන එකට අපි කියන්නේ ද්‍රව ප්‍රසාරණය කියලා. ඒකත් ලියා ගන්න තරු ඕනම තරමක් දාලා, right? Okay, and please highlight that point because there's no place to write down this definition, right? That's why. පොඩ්ඩක් ඒක ළමයි ඉඩ ඇතුව මෙතන උනත් කමන්නේ ලියා ගත්තා, right? All right, children, have you all done?
Yes, teacher.
Okay. Children, keep it in your mind, this expansion of these liquids are used in preparation of thermometers. දැන් තේරෙනව නේද හිමින් එන්නේ මොකටද කියලා, right? In preparation of thermometers, we are using this concept of expansion. Concept of expansion, right? Okay. Right. Right, okay. Right, children. Here, now I am scrolling it down. මම පහලට එහෙනම් මම උඩට යනවා. Right? Right, okay. Right, children. Right. මේ තියෙන්නේ. Turn to the page number 2. Thermometers. What is called as thermometers? I hope that you may have seen thermometers, right? We'll see. A simple thermometer can be made using property of expansion of liquid. If you have a highlighter, please highlight this one, right? Using property of expansion of a liquid. Right? Property of expansion of a liquid. Like this. Right? Okay, පේනවත් දන්නෙත් නැනේ. Right. We'll use purple color. Expansion of liquid. A mercury or alcohol thermometer is used in measured temperature accurately and quantitatively. Right? Okay. We'll see children. Me balanna. Right. Here children, I hope that you may have seen this thermometer. Right? In your school laboratories, you have these thermometers. Have you seen this kind of thermometers? Mahitane දැකලා ඇති, right? Okay, so I'll show you, right? Right, this is the calibrated scale. Calibrated scale ක්‍රමාංකනය කරන ලද නේද? Scale එක පරිමාණය. Okay? And children, this one is the bulb of the thermometer. It is filled with mercury. Mercury is a metallic liquid, right? Metal stay as a liquid in room temperature, right? May balanna mercury bulb එක. And then children, what will happen when we keep this thermometer bulb in let's say hot water? අපි ටිකක් උණු වතුර තියලා බලමු කලින් එක්ස්පෙරිමන්ට් එකට ගතපු hot water දැන් නම් නිවෙන්නත් ළඟයි, right? So when we keep this thermometer in this hot water, right? Okay, so okay, if you carefully observe, can you see there's a mercury column inside? There's a capillary tube inside this thermometer. You can see that it rises up. Slowly rises up. Right? It records the temperature in this water. Right? මේ වතුරේ දැනට තියෙන උෂ්ණත්වය. Okay children? Right. So here you can see here at the middle you can see the mercury column rises. Okay? Why children this mercury column rises here when we keep this hot water? Because of thermal expansion of the liquid. Mercury is a liquid metal. Because of the absorbance of small amount of heat, that level rises. පොඩ්ඩක් රත් වෙච්ච ගමන් මෙයා උඩට නගිනවා. Right? Because of expansion of heat. Sorry, expansion of liquid because of the absorbance of heat. Right? Okay. Right. And yeah. And children, here this is mercury thermometer. Right? This mercury thermometer includes mercury. Right? Children, I am sure that you may have seen alcohol thermometers. Those are also available in the laboratories, right? It has been filled with alcohol, right? Then සමහරු හිතාගෙන ඉන්නවා alcohol is red in color. Because children, the alcoholic thermometer, the bulb is in red color. ඒකේ bulb එක රතු පාටයි. Alcoholic thermometer එකේ bulb is red color, right? Like this. Alcohol is not in red color for the easiness of the identification of increment of this level, right? We are using stains. Then alcohol is colorless. Colorless එකක් මේ වගේ එකකට fill කළොත් අපිට ඉහළ නැග්ගට පෙනෙයිද ළමයි? නෑ. Here mercury is silver in nature. So due to that we can see where this mercury column rises. Okay? Here you can see at the middle. Right? Likewise. But here alcohol, we have to stain it. Right? So in alcoholic thermometer, the bulb is filled with alcohol. Right? ඒක රතු පාටට දාලා තියෙන්නේ stains. Right. So children, have you seen medical thermometer? Okay? So children, this is medical thermometer. Okay? This is medical thermometer. Alright? And children, there's a bulb of this thermometer also. Okay, right. And children, what will happen when heat is absorbed for the bulb, right? Temperature rises here. Temperature rises here, right? Like this. Now it's on certain temperature. Okay, likewise. Okay, all right. Right. So children, increase the volume of a liquid by gaining heat is called the expansion of liquid. Right? Expansion of liquid. Okay children? Right. Okay. Right. Now children, I am going to show you. I am going to do kind of a small experiment. Right? Small experiment. Right? To show you how thermometers work. කොහොමද thermometer එකක් වැඩ කරන්න කියලා පෙන්වන්නයි යන්නේ. Right? Okay. Wait, I'll arrange my place. Okay, children. Right. So, children, now for my easiness, right, I'll place my, yes. Okay, I'm using this white colored strap and then I'm using this setup, right? And then now this is the normal condition, right? Now children, I'm going to show you what is the level of the thermometer at this instance, right? Now children, read what is the temperature by this thermometer, where this mercury column is located. I can see it is nearly 30. You can see that is near to 30. 30ට කිට්ටුව පේනව නේද? Right. So likewise children, at 30 you can see the level of liquid in this pen tube is shown in this thermometer nearly 47, right? අපි මේකත් එක්ක එකට තිබ්බට පස්සේ, right? When it is shown, right? When it is shown 30 Celsius in this thermometer, right? This level of my prepared thermometer, මගේ thermometer එකේ පෙන්නන level එක, right? Yes, we'll see. Okay. Right. Okay, right. So now children, I have fixed a strap, right? And then children, first of all, I'll mark what is the level of ink, right? Here children. මෙන්න මේ හරිය තමයි තියෙන්නේ, right? Okay, so then I have marked the level of ink, right? So now the temperature records in my real thermometer, that is 30. ඒකේ 30යි. හැබැයි මේකේ level එක පෙන්නන්නේ මෙතන අපි when it comes to the level of this water in this colored water in this ink, according to that thermometer reading is near to if I check it, it is near to 59, right? It is near to 59, right? Wait, I'll paste this strap. මම මේ strap එක පොඩ්ඩක් අලවන්න. Okay. ඉන්න ළමයි මම මේ scale එක අලවනවා. I'll just paste it for my easiness to handle. Right, okay. Now it's okay, right? So now I have paste my cardboard strap here, right? Now children, I'll check whether what is the temperature by the thermometer. We'll see the normal temperature near to 30. You can see that mercury column raised up to 30. Now the condition is now normal temperature now 30. But children, you have to find out what is the level of this ink, right? So ink level is this much. Ink level is this much, right? So then we'll mark what is the temperature according to this thermometer, right? In this thermometer, normal temperature shown in 50 of real thermometer, right? මේකේ 30ක් වෙනකොට මේකේ 50ක් තමයි මේ thermometer එකේ හැටියට පෙන්නන්නේ, right? And then children, what I am going to do is I am going to add hot water. I am going to add hot water, right? Okay. Right. So children, now have a look what will happen. what will happen? The pen tube, the liquid level rises, and as well as children, the thermometer also mercury level rises, right? Thermometer එකෙත් mercury level එක ඉහළට යනවා, right? Okay, so we'll see what is the reading of thermometer. Thermometer reading is 60. Thermometer reading is 60. Now you can see this pen tube also level rises, right? Okay, we'll check whether according to this thermometer at what is the point this level stop. බලමු මෙතනදී කොතන මොන level එකේදීද නැවතිලා තියෙන්නේ කියලා. This place according to my prepared thermometer, right? We'll see. According to this thermometer it is 75, right? නේද? මේකේ 60ක් වෙනකොට මේකෙන් පෙන්නනවා 75ක්, right? According to this thermometer this level shows amount of 75, right? Previously we had 30. Now at that time the level of this ink was recording 50, right? Likewise children, using another different types of liquids also we can make thermometers, right? Children, why we are usually not using water for thermometers? Because children, this water not absorb heat, to increase the temperature by 1 point, water requires very high amount of heat. නේද? වතුර අපි පාවිච්චි කරන්නේ නැත්තේ thermometers හදන්න, right? It requires high amount of heat to increase in 1 point. එක point එකක් ඉහළ යන්න නේද? ලොකු heat එකක් දෙන්න ඕනේ, right? So that's why children usually we are not using water for preparation of thermometers, right? Quickly expand, right? You know children, ethanol, mercury we are using in thermometers because that expands quickly when it supply more heat, right? And children, there are some other reasons also. Now you can see that level rises up, right? Okay, so I'll just keep this setup aside. And children, when it comes to this thermometer, right? Both of these, right? This is our prepared thermometer and this is our normal laboratory thermometer. This bulb is related to this. මේ bulb එක මේකට සමානයි, right? This acting as the bulb of the thermometer according to this thermometer, right? Here bulb is very small, right? So children, increase the accuracy of this thermometer we can use capillary tubes. මේ බලන්න capillary tubes පේනව නේද ඇතුලේ? There's a small tube inside. Can you see inside this thermometer there's a small tube like structure? Can you see? පොඩි කෙන්දක් වගේ එකක් පේනව නේද? Inside that there's a mercury column. Okay, like this. මේ තියෙන්නේ capillary tube inside this thermometer, right? Small tube is there, but children, these are big, right? The diameter of this tube is very higher, right? It affect for our reading also, right? Make එච්චරම හොඳ thermometer එකක් නෙමෙයි. This one is the good, and we can use, right, bit of long tube, right? Because then also we can increase the accuracy of the thermometer. අපිට මේ උෂ්ණත්වමානවල නිරවද්‍යතාවය වැඩි කරන්න පුළුවන් by increasing the tube of thermometer by reducing the diameter of this tube. Diameter එක, මේ tube එකේ diameter එක, right? Diameter means, you know, this one, right? මේ diameter එක විශ්කම්භය, right? We have to reduce it also. And children, we can use a liquid which expands quickly. නේද? ටක් ගාලා heat එකක් දීපු ගමන් එයා සුටුස් ගාලා පෙන්නන්න ඕනේ අපිට change එක, right? Okay. So children, that's what what are the features that we could see these liquids that we are filling into the thermometers, right? Okay, I hope that you got the idea by that small activity, right? Hari. All right. Turn to the page number 3. What property of liquid is used making in thermometers? Right? Quick expansion of liquids, right, due to the absorbance of heat. නේද? ටක් ගාලා heat එක දීපු ගමන් ටක් ගාලා it shows the it should expand, right? Once get heat, it should expand quickly. නේද? අද දුන්නාම heat එක හෙට විතර ඉහළ නගිනවා නම් then that is not good for thermometers. Okay? Right. Hari. We can write down what property of liquid මොකක්ද ලක්ෂණය, right? Quick expansion. Quick expansion of liquid by absorbing heat, right? That should be the property of liquid used in making thermometers. Okay, right. I hope that you have finished writing. Okay. So children, here, now have a look. These are the scales of thermometers. Children, when it comes to these thermometers, children, there are bulbs. I told you there are bulbs. This bulb filled with mercury, this bulb filled with alcohol. There is a capillary tube. Capillary tube කියන්නේ බොහොම පුංචි නලය. Capillary tube කියලා කියන්නේ කේශික නලය. Very small tube. Okay, and children, you observe that what is the scale, right? Children, there are different scales. In daily basis we are using Celsius and Fahrenheit. But the SI unit for measuring temperature is Kelvin, right? So, yes. Children, if you carefully observe, right? Here you can see, in this thermometer, it mentioned Celsius, degrees of Celsius and degrees of Fahrenheit, right? So then children, daily basis, we are using this Celsius and Fahrenheit, right? But the SI unit that we measure temperature is Kelvin, right? So unit, you have to mention degrees. Fahrenheit, degrees. Kelvin, only capital K. We are not using degrees, right? For Kelvin, right? What is the international standard unit of temperature? Kelvin. Kelvin for K. K. Quickly write down these things.
Finished.
Okay.
Finished writing.
Okay, dear.
I'm still doing, teacher.
Okay, okay.
Finished it.
Finish, teacher.
All right. Okay, right. Children, now we are going to complete the table showing equivalent temperatures. I told you that children, temperature we can measure using Celsius and Fahrenheit, right? Children, boiling point of water in Celsius, that is 100 degrees of Celsius. Freezing point of water 0 degrees of Celsius. 0 degrees of Celsius, right? Mean temperature of body 36.9 degrees of Celsius. It is said that nearly it is 37 degrees of Celsius. එක ළඟටම ගත්තොත් එහෙම, right? Children, according to the Celsius scale, Fahrenheit values. What are the Fahrenheit values of boiling point of water, right? So that amount is 212 Fahrenheit degrees, right? And then 0 degrees of Celsius means 32 degrees of Fahrenheit. 32 degrees of Fahrenheit. And then children, 36.9 degrees of Celsius means 98.8.2 degrees of Fahrenheit. 4. Right? Okay. So children, what is the Celsius temperature in Kelvin? Right? Ne siya, Celsius siya Kelvin වලින් කීයද? Right? That is 373 Kelvin. I'll use another color to write down. 373 Kelvin. Capital K හැමතිස්සෙම. And then freezing point 273 K, right? And then finally this one 309.9 Kelvin. No degrees here, but both of these has degrees or have degrees. Okay, children, ඔන්න මම එක trick එකක් කියන්නම්. In science, we can convert this Celsius into Fahrenheit, Fahrenheit into Celsius, Celsius into Kelvin, right? And then we can convert like that. If it is 100 degrees in Celsius, in Fahrenheit 212 degrees of Fahrenheit. මම ඔයාලට මෙන්න මේක විතරක් කියන්නම්. If you have given Celsius value by adding 273, we can get Kelvin value. 0 you plus 273 and then we can get Kelvin value. 36.9 degrees of Celsius and add 276, you can always get the Kelvin value. පොඩි trick එකක් කිව්වේ ඒක මතකේ තියාගන්න ඕනේ. But in your grade 10 you will be given to keep this in your mind. You are given to convert the Celsius value into Kelvin value once you are going into upper grades. Okay? එක පොඩි trick එකක් ඉතින් පොඩ්ඩක් දන්නවා කියලා පෙන්නන්න පුළුවන් ළමයි, right? Okay. මේක දන්නවනම් මේක මතක තියාගන්න ඕනේ. But Fahrenheit you have to keep it in your mind until you will be given the equation. ඔයාලට equation එක කවදා හරි මේකට දෙනකන් මේ විදිහට මතක තියාගන්න. Right? Okay.
Finished writing, Miss.
Okay, dear.
Yes, teacher.
Finish writing, Miss.
Okay. Right. Okay. Okay. Right. Okay, you can write. Okay. So, children, I think this is our first date related to our third term, right? And children, we are going to discuss melting point, boiling point, and then what are the applications of them, right? On next week. Okay, children, for newcomers, if you are joining with us, right, you have to maintain writing book and you have to get printed this tute, right? Once after doing the relevant payment, you will be given that tute, right? And you have to get printed it. And then children, you have to maintain to write down the difficult words for the certain day, right? And then day in, day out, you have to maintain it, right? For the best book, 3 best books we are giving gifts at the end of the year, okay? Right. So then children, after grade 7 we are starting grade 8. That is not the thing, right? At the end of grade 7 you will be given gifts for the best 3 books, okay? And children, if you if you already added, newly added into the group, we are sending you the details related to app. අපේ app එකක් තියෙනවා. ඒ app එකේ අපේ exam centers තියෙනවා. You can freely try these exams and you can find your rank also, and then you can find what is the amount that you achieved, and then scientific dictionary also available with the games, right? Okay, we'll upload that relevant details into the group, okay? Right. And then keep prepared your student profiles also, right? Okay, so children, I hope that it's enough for today, right? We discussed a lot of experiments today, right? Okay, so children, until we meet again, this recording will be provided to all of you. I'm going to wind up here for a while, children. Thank you for logging. Have a nice week. Stay safe. Goodbye. Good night. Buddh Saranai, and God bless you. Bye.
Bye, teacher.
Okay.
Teacher.
You are welcome, dear. Bye.
Bye, teacher.
Okay, bye.